Hello everyone, it's Annie and today I'm here with a book recommendation video of books that give a Ghibli vibe. So books that are like mystical fantasy and just give off the vibes of those comforting Ghibli movies that we all know and love. I don't know about you guys, but my favorite Ghibli movie is When Marnie Was There, followed by a close second of Howl's Moving Castle. So let me know what your favorite Ghibli movie is down below and let's get started. So first, I want to talk about a fairly recent release, which is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie-O. This is a really magical Korean folktale retelling, kind of, or inspired by Korean folktale, and it is so Ghibli-esque. It reminds me a lot of Spirited Away because the story is that the main character gets transported to this undersea spirit realm magical kingdom, and it is so good. It's really atmospheric and just so magical feeling. The story is that this town sacrifices a girl every year to the sea god, and it's not really working anymore. Like, there's a bunch of storms and food shortages and things like that, and this girl's brother's lover is the one chosen to get sacrificed, but the girl is like, no, because she doesn't want her brother to go through that pain, so she sacrifices herself instead, and the story goes from there. There is a romance in there as well, which might not be everyone's cup of tea. I wasn't really expecting it, but I didn't think it took too much away from the book, and it's just magical, and the inside is just as beautiful as the cover. And then we have a novella called Fourth Island. This is a Tor novella, I believe, and it is really atmospheric and magical. It's about someone who gets lost at sea and is transported to this magical island that you can't really find unless you're transported there. And it's filled with a bunch of very interesting people. It's like an Irish story, and I don't know what else to say except that because I don't want to give too much away. It is a really short book, but it's just very, like, it feels like you're in like a foggy, damp Irish island off the coast. It's really magical. Yeah, of course there's magic in it because it's like an enchanted island. It's really good. It's a little bit, I was gonna say it's a little bit darker than Ghibli movies, but you know what? Ghibli movies can get pretty dark, so I'm still gonna keep this on the list. But for a more lighthearted recommendation, we have Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, another novella, Tor novella. This is so cute. It's about a non-binary monk who travels around in their tea cart giving advice to people, and while they're doing that, they meet this robot. And it is so cute, very solar punk, comforting sci-fi. It does remind me of like Castle in the Sky a little bit because of the robots and like old technology type of vibe. I love it. And yeah, I can't really say more than that because I don't want to give too much away, but the world building Becky Chambers has given in this book is just top notch, and I cannot wait for the sequel that comes out in July. I know I've talked about this book a lot. It was one of my favorite books that I read last year, so I highly recommend this. And then another novella is Fireheart Tiger by Aliette Baudard. This is a Vietnamese-inspired fantasy about like a fire girl. I don't know how to explain it, so let me read the synopsis. Quiet, thoughtful Princess Thang was sent away as a hostage to the powerful faraway country of Etheria as a child. Now she's returned to her mother's imperial court, haunted not only by memories of her first romance, but by worrying magical echoes of a fire that devastated Etheria's royal palace. Yeah. Thang's new role as a diplomat places her once again in the path of her first love, the powerful and magnetic Eldris of Etheria, who knows exactly what she wants, romance and much more from Thang's home. Eldris won't take no for an answer on either front, but the fire that burned down one palace is tempting Thang with the possibility of making her own dangerous decisions. Can she find the freedom to shape her country's fate and her own? So yeah, I chose this book because it has just a really magical feel, really nice, fantastical world building. And also, Ghibli movies mostly, or all of them really, center on a strong female protagonist. And I really feel like this embodies that very, very well. So I highly recommend this novella. So then we have a big chunker of a book, which is Brave Story by Miyuki Miyabe. This is a translated middle grade book, except it's like 800 pages long, translated from Japanese. This also has an animated movie, which was one of my favorite movies of all time growing up. I loved it so much. It is so magical and also really emotional and heartbreaking. This is a really long, convoluted story of the book, but the basic plot is that this boy has some family troubles at home. His parents are getting divorced and other things are going on, and he wishes that he could fix it. And in doing so, he is transported to this magical realm. It's kind of a portal fantasy a little bit. And he is given this sword, and he has to find all of the gems that go in the sword's hilt. And in doing so, he gets a wish, and that will be his wish, maybe, to fix his family. And he meets so many interesting creatures and people along the way in this magical realm that he's transported to. And the side character, who's kind of like his foil, is one of my favorite characters of all time still. It is so, so good. I know the cover art is a little weird. It kind of reminds me of the Stinky Cheese Man a little bit. But don't let that deter you. I'll put the anime movie art up here. It's so cute, really good, and even if you don't read this huge book, I really recommend the movie. And then we have another translated Japanese fantasy, which is The Beast Player and The Beast Warrior. So these two books are so good. They are duology, Japanese fantasy. It's young adult. I'm going to hold up this one. This is the first one, and it did win very deservingly, and the cover art is gorgeous on both of them. So this follows a girl who has a special connection with the creatures and beasts that these fantastical empires kind of wield as weapons. It has a lot of great commentary about politics and the relationship between humanity and animals. I will say that this first book is much stronger than the second one, unfortunately, so I would probably just recommend reading the first one. I think it ends at a really good place. It is so creative. It starts off a little slowly, but it is so worth it. And just these royal beasts that they're called are so creative and have a really unique personality, and I love it. I love this so much. It's one of my favorite young adult fantasies. And then the last book I'm going to recommend for this video is a very recent release, which is 1,000 Steps Into Night by Tracy Chee. I just recently read this book on audio, and it was very cute. It is marketed as young adult, but it reads a little bit younger. So I think it's really perfect. It definitely gives off that Ghibli vibe. It has a really strong female main character that really embodies like the Ghibli protagonist spirit. So let me read you the synopsis. This is a Japanese-influenced fantasy brimming with demons, adventure, and plans gone awry. In the realm of Awada, where gods, monsters, and humans exist side by side, Miyuko is an ordinary girl resigned to a safe, if uneventful, existence as an innkeeper's daughter. But when Miyuko is cursed and begins to transform into a demon with a deadly touch, she embarks on a quest to reverse the curse and return to her normal life. Aided by a thieving magpie spirit and continuously thwarted by a demon prince, Miyuko must outfox tricksters, escape demon hunters, and negotiate with feral gods if she wants to make it home again. But with her transformation comes power and freedom she never even dreamed of, and she'll have to decide if saving her soul is worth trying to cram herself back into an ordinary life that no longer fits her, and perhaps never did. So yeah, this is a really, really magical fantasy, like I said, kind of on the border of middle grade and young adult. It definitely fits the Ghibli vibe of like a young girl trying to figure her life out while also going on a magical spirit and demon filled adventure. And it was really cute and really good, and I do highly recommend it, and I definitely want to check out more from Tracy Chee after reading this book. So that is it for this Ghibli-inspired book recommendation video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to my channel for more bookish videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!